Part 2, U.S. Women's National Team Pay Gap video. I didn't think I would have to do a Part 2, but there was a lot of confusion about how the U.S. Women's National Team and the men get paid. So I'm doing this video to try to clear it up because I wasn't really clear enough. And my first comment and first dislike ever were due to this confusion, I believe. I'm going to read the comment now. From Nickel Migle. I'm not going to pronounce that last name. The comment is, the women are demanding FIFA more money. They don't make as much money for FIFA. That's the exact quote. So the facts behind this comment are totally true. FIFA makes whatever it is 8 to 10 times as much from the hosting the men's World Cup than they do from hosting the women's World Cup. But that is totally irrelevant when it comes to the lawsuit, which is what I was talking about in the first video. So I made a horribly drawn and written graph. So here's the U.S. Women's National Team and the Men's National Team. And then this is the U.S. Soccer Federation, who pays both the teams. The women are suing the U.S. Soccer Federation, not FIFA. The U.S. Soccer Federation makes money from FIFA, the Olympics, and other tournament organizers. They also make a lot of money. Most of their money the USSF makes is from TV deals and advertisements. This is a Nike symbol, by the way. So that's how the U.S. Soccer Federation makes money. Now, over the last 4-year cycle, the women made the U.S. Soccer Federation more money than the men, but were paid 37% less. That's what the lawsuit is about. It doesn't, the women aren't suing FIFA. Now, and most of the money the USSF makes is not from FIFA. It's just like they only get prize money from FIFA once every 4 years, both the men and the women. Now, the question of whether or not FIFA should pay, well, okay. So the question of whether or not the USSF should pay the women equal to the men, I'm going to link a Sports Illustrated article in the description of this video so you can make your own decision with all of those facts from the detailing that lawsuit, because I'm not a lawyer. I blah, 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 don't know all the ins and outs of all of that. But, I mean, my opinion is they should, because they're making the same amount of money and they're just getting like a third of the money that the men's players are getting, and they have less money for staffing and training facilities and all of that. Now, the totally different question that this commenter is alluding to of whether whether FIFA should pay more money, that's a legitimate question, because they do make more money from the men's tournament. So don't worry, I don't have another chart. I'm just turning this around for my notes. So let's see. Question, should FIFA pay more prize money to the soccer federations for, or equalize the pay between the men and the women. So here are the reasons why it would be good for them to do that. One, it's a good investment. If you invest in women's soccer, then it will up the overall worldwide interest. It will make, maybe a country that wasn't investing in women's soccer before will start investing more money into it now, more money into development coaches, all of that. And that overall will help soccer in the long run. It will help FIFA make more money because it will not only making the product better, but it will make just more people interested. It would get the interest level up. Two, and so like this kind of goes off of the good investment. That will snowball into continued good investment where, a country that has very little money allocated to women's soccer, them putting the money in now, it'll just keep, maybe not in terms of the money, but in terms of the interest, that'll snowball. The overall soccer IQ of general people in the country, they'll be able to more easily get good coaches, and they'll already have developmental facilities, all of this stuff. Super important. Wow, I can't speak. Yeah. Another thing FIFA's had a problem with, even way before this equal pay, stuff between the men and the women, but they have a PR problem, huge PR problem. And they've had it for decades, and it's been getting kind of better as of late, but this could really help them from just a PR perspective. I know most people who watch soccer, they watch it because they like it. They don't watch it because whatever they think about FIFA. But FIFA, if you don't know anything about FIFA's, why people don't like FIFA, it's basically the same reason that people don't like the Olympics. They put all the cost on the host nation country, who loses a ton of money from it, from hosting the Olympics / World Cup. They line their pockets. In the men's World Cup in 2014, I believe they had, when you took their income minus their expenses, they had made over $1 billion. And they just keep putting that in, their Swiss bank account, which is, it's okay for them to do that, I guess, quote unquote, but legally. But people don't like it, and you should be using that. You've got to use that money on something, right? So might as well invest it in promoting women's soccer, which is, a fairly good cause, I would say, as far as soccer goes, or invested in helping lower income places get soccer goals or whatever. Yeah, so it's good PR. It's morally correct to do, which is obviously subjective, but a lot of people consider it probably like a good thing to do, equal pay for equal work. I know, I don't have poll numbers in front of me to back that up, but in general, other than men's rights groups, I don't see any group of people that would explicitly have a problem with giving the women at least more money in prize money, even if it's not the same amount. Yeah. All right. But negatives. Uh, Obviously, like the commenter said, the Women's World Cup makes FIFA less money than the Men's World Cup. Plain and simple. Um, that's a good reason not to make it equal right now. You could go in that direction, but not like all at once. Um, and Also, a potential con is so if you raise the Women's World Cup prize pool, the soccer federations might use that as leverage to just raise the men's prize pool. Maybe. And they would use the logic of, well, the men make more money, so blah blah blah. We should make more prize money than the women, basically. Um, and then they like potentially like men's teams could strike. I don't know. It could happen, I guess. I don't see that as very likely, but it could happen. And I want to also talk about like minimal amounts of history of equal pay for different genders in sports. So, let's say you don't know anything about tennis right now, or you know very little. You can probably name a few tennis players, both men and women. Um, the Williams sisters, and like Maria Sharapova, even though she's not great anymore. Billie Jean King would be like the women most people would know. And for the men, if you don't know that much about tennis, you might know like Federer, Bjorn Borg. I mean, it depends how old you are. Uh, like, you know, maybe Novak Djokovic or Rafa Nadal or whatever. But you'll probably know about the same amount of men as you do women. Um, and the tennis federation, or whatever it's called, I don't know what the international tennis organizing body is called. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they, I think a couple decades ago, were like, oh, we're just going to have the prize money for men's and women's tournaments be the same. And the result is people took the women's tennis tournaments very, very seriously. And it added to this investment that I was talking about, the outside investment of like the US Tennis Association, and you know, different countries would take, because the tournaments were taking it seriously and because the international body was taking it seriously, the individual countries also take women's tennis extremely seriously. But if you compare tennis to like golf or something, like the LPGA Tour is, I don't know what the prize money is, but they've had a long, golf in general has had a long history of excluding non-white men. So it's led to just, you know, mostly white men up until maybe a couple decades ago. They would be the ones who would play golf, which is fine. But it doesn't promote growth, and they've probably lost money by not promoting women's golf from an earlier time. And if they had been promoting women's golf, the LPGA Tour might be more influential, and it would draw more people, more revenue, and it would just snowball. Like, because I bet you guys can't name more than like one women's golfer, but you can name like a million men's golfers. um, or at least I can. um, so, yeah, I I know I'm not bringing huge amounts of like numbers to the table for the tennis golf comparison or whatever, and I'm definitely less educated on those sports than the soccer. I'm definitely a much bigger soccer fan, but yeah, I'm just giving you the general trend of what's happened over the last few decades with those sports. Um, so I personally, my final thought is, yeah, pay the women a lot more in prize money. I'm not sure how much more. You might not want to make it equal immediately, but I know that the FIFA people said double it, or double the women's prize pool money. Okay. I mean, it certainly still could be more. It definitely could be. Um, we'll see. It also, I just want to be clear too, it probably shouldn't be equal just because, um, uh, I mean, there are less women's teams in the World Cup than men's teams. So right now, due to that reason, um, the women's prize pool probably should be like, 3/4 of the men's prize pool, even if you did full parity between men's and women's FIFA World Cup prize pools or whatever. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to say. I don't even know what to say. Like, what should I say? Like the video? Nah, people are gonna do that if they want to anyway. Um, oh yeah, I've been reading more. Well, I'm actually gonna get to book reviews at some point. I think this is gonna be it for the women's soccer, at least for now. I've said basically all I need to say. Um, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.